Hey guys, RB here, and it's time for the weekly prep video. We're gonna talk about the indexes again today, to see how September is gonna look like, which is generally a bit slower and a bearish month, from the seasonality perspective. But will it be the same this year, or are we gonna see something different? I mean, going just back, into the past few years, what we have seen is that generally a correction starts from later in the July, September stays like that, and later in mid-October, things starts to pick up. The momentum really starts to build up, and we see the rally towards the end of the year, right? And so far, July, we didn't see much of a correction, more of a sideways consolidation to say. But July was mostly bullish, sorry, and August was mostly sideways, and will September cause a little bit of more, dips and get us to a lower level to buy for the end of the year rally, or it's just gonna be again a little bit of a more sideways consolidation before the next set of next set of legs start to start building up, right? So let's talk over some of the options that we have right now, looking at where we are on the chart. Starting here with the US 100 or Nasdaq, the tech sector. If you go back and check my previous videos, at certain point of time in August, I was talking about testing this area about here, right? And we had our first step, and then I really post that. But if you look at SPX, while Nasdaq was not making new highs, if you just go to US 500, you'll see quite a different story here, where US 500 was making a new high, right? So now, just thinking about what a bearish scenario can look like. Going from US 100 standpoint, it's pretty clear. You had these five waves down: one, two, three, four, five. You got an A, B, and C up. You got a one down, two up, three, 4, and 5. Right? Pretty simple. A, B, C, zigzag correction. We'll be done with it, and then you go long, for probably somewhere into 25,000 or 24,800 or something like that. So big rally after that. Right? So that's one way of looking into it. And if I have to do the same thing for, let's say, US 500, then I am looking at this probably being a double top flat correction scenario, which means we see a little bit of a bounce here, probably into 6480, maybe at the max going into 6488 again. Somewhere from this region, I should start seeing a sell off, right? And the flat correction would mean that, okay, I go back and touch 6432, 6342, maybe at the max go to 6310, right? So while US 500 is making that C leg lower, this may not go all the way into the similar area of 6211, but may just end into this zone, right? Just because it has been saying so strong. But is it gonna take the whole of September to do so? No, this would probably be done pretty much in let's say a week time frame, which is next week. So if this bounces on Monday, probably chops, consolidates in that area. Then if the sell-off has to start then after thereafter, probably couple of days to just bring it down all the way to 67.1, though it can be done in one day, chop again, and then next leg down. So probably by let's say in 4 or 5 sessions, it'll be all done, right? It doesn't need that much of time to come back around here, right? And then next set of rallies can take their own time. So let's say US 500 just comes about to 63.10. then there will be a wave one, wave two that can take its own week to just kind of, bounce for a couple of days and then, do a sideways work for next 3 or 4 days. So, first few weeks of September can go like that if we get this sort of a bearish correction, right? Like I said, US 100 was pretty clear. There was no problem. A leg, B, and C, right? And then we start to kind of the path to upside. Now this is the major bearish scenario. And when I say bearish, again, if you're an investor, it may not matter a lot, right? You're not gonna get worried from a 2 to 3% dip and gonna sell your holdings. It's just another buy the dip opportunity. So hold that and add into your longs if you want to at those levels, right? For anybody who's looking to kind of swing, yeah, it will make a lot of opportunities as you get into those levels. You can have 2 to 3 months long swings by buying January calls or something like that and let them rally in this scenario, right? But this is the most bearish scenario that I have right now. But looking into what are the bullish ways it can continue to go up. Let's say September is not bearish anymore and we continue to kind of grind up, then probably what we are looking at is that again the correction here was a little smaller than I would have expected. Though my Friday levels were pretty much met when I said that I don't like this chop breakout. It's probably gonna fail, and I said 6447 is something that I would be looking at, and 6446 was the low, or a little lower. 6442 was or three was something which was made on that day, right? So that was my expectation, but I think there is still a little more, correction, which probably would be helpful to clear this leg, which was quite choppy. And now, similar to what I shared before, instead of going all the way down, you can come up to this particular level here at 6480. May make another dip instead of going all the way back. May just make another dip of 6416 or 6402. And if you remember, in all my posts last week or in the videos, I shared that 6400 stays the line in the sand for bulls. Anything below that, of course, makes it risk. The risk factor would be that it goes down to 6340 or 6310 or lower, somewhere around that, right? So this area stays as a key point. Probably comes here in the bullish scenario. Take a Let's say take a day or two. Tuesday could be a little bit of bounce, stay there. You get a sell off Wednesday, and then you're ready to start moving up, right? So that is the bullish case. That's where I'm assuming that whatever this leg was, either this was running flat. When we talk about running flat, it becomes like this: that you had an A down, the B went above the start of the A, and the C never could reach the lower levels as of A, make an equal low or make a lower low, right? So this is a running flat, which means the next one will again continue to kind of push higher. And when we say push higher, so let's say we complete this 6400, 6416 correction in a 1 or 2 days, and then we start building up the new moves, and it gives the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave. So in this way, if this happens, I mean, September is gonna be really, really bullish. And instead, the little bit of a correction expectations will move into the month of October. But again, that's not gonna bring any much lower levels. It's just gonna go and from there it'll just come back and test the 64, 6500, 6467 levels again, right? So it's not gonna go all the way back to 6200 or 6300. That's not what we are expecting. So this could kind of make really, really bullish year overall. No major corrections. The rally keeps on going as wave three, right? So from here, if this was 1 2, you had another 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. You'll get this major 3 4 dip, probably will last the month of October, and then you have 2 months of rally again, touching around 7,000 by the end of the year, right? So those projection remains the same. It's just a matter of that, do we get a 6,400 dip or do we get a 6,300 dip, right? At this in this particular thing, that's the difference between the bullish and the bearish scenarios right now. I like this just from the tech perspective, since tech has been weak. It will make a lot of easy trades when you get another 5 waves down here, the zigzag completes, you sweep the liquidity, and you just buy for like 4 or 5 months down the line, QQ calls, and just kind of ride them, right? Don't have to worry about each leg and each up and down pivots there. So just ride it towards the end of the year. That's a great trade to take. Now, looking into other things as DIA, right? So again, I mean, if we get a dip on SPX, where we are saying it sells from 4480 to around 4310 maximum, or 4348 or somewhere around that. That's about 3% dip. I don't see a 3% dip here right now. I mean, if it comes down, I'm okay to potentially let it come all the way to 450, which is hardly a 1% dip or 1.5% dip, and then the rally starts again, right? So that's looking at this, and this can be looked into a couple of ways, right? So not necessarily the count that I put in is the only way. It could be that you have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, A dip B, and you probably can, even if it gets to the scenario which I talked about being bearish, it can come all the way into 447 as well, which again probably is a little more than 2% dip. And from there, we can look into, another rally forming towards the upside, right? So that kind of matches. Or otherwise, like I said, if we go with the previous bullish count, then I am not looking at a major dip. The dip could be here into 453, or at the max into 450.54, and then the fifth wave goes as I shared in the SPX, that we kind of head higher from there, right? So that's the IA scenario. For IWM, I'm keeping it simple. I just want to see the previous all-time highs to be tested. That's where the liquidity resides. We are holding pretty great. And next week we have a lot of data on the jobs, and if the job market stays weak, there is possibly a chance that IWM will see a bit of a bounce there, right? Just to sweep liquidity, and I'm not expecting this breakout to hold and rally to continue. There will be some sort of a manipulation there, and it will just pull back, right? Pull back, as I explained, that okay, in the case of the SPX, where it goes first to 6600 and above, and then in the month of October it kind of comes down, again back to 6400, 60 for 63 something, right? So there are scenarios like this where we can see one more spike where immediately September is not bearish, but like I said, I mean it all depends on the next week, right? Where does this correction really ends? um if the dip is gonna be on the US 100, like I was talking about the bearish case is like this. But if it's gonna be something just as simple as that, then we are looking at a rally post after this dip, right? So these are the few things that I'm looking at. So not really a lot of change from the past few weeks, but kind of looking at a better level to go long into the indexes as well. I wasn't long in SPX last week. I took some tech longs after this dip right here for a bounce, but I do feel that another leg down here would be very nice. And if we go down here, oh, that's an amazing trade right after that. So let's see what happens. But these are the few things that I wanted to kind of share. And if you like the content and you want to learn more Please do like and subscribe. And there are some good deals going on the memberships as well for Discord. So you can check my website, which is rbanalytics.net, and can subscribe from there. Thank you very much, and have a good one. Bye bye.